and welcome. My name is Jelly and today I have a video about microplastics for you all. More specifically, I'm going to be talking about the microplastics that come from our clothes. So we're going to go over what they are, how they are released, and what we can do to reduce the amount of microplastics released from our clothes. I'm also very curious about my own personal closet, so I'm going to be sorting through my own closet and figuring out what percent of items are made with plastic and what percent are natural, and go from there. But without further ado, let's learn how to deplastify our wardrobe. First things first, what are microplastics? They are very tiny pieces of plastic, less than 5 millimeters long. They can come from a wide variety of sources. So they can come from larger pieces of plastic, slowly breaking down into smaller and smaller pieces over time. They come from tires as people drive their cars. The tires wear down and small pieces of plastic come off. It can also come from glitter, which legitimately is just tiny pieces of plastic. And it can come from the main topic of this video, which is microplastics coming from our clothes. Microfibers are a type of microplastic that are released when we wash synthetic clothing, aka clothing made with plastic. Some examples of synthetic fabrics are polyester, acrylic, and nylon, versus examples of natural fabrics are cotton, linen, wool, hemp, among others. Microfibers come from our clothes when we put them in the washing machine. So as the clothes are being washed, teeny tiny fibers are coming off and ending up in the water. These microfibers look like little threads and they are narrower in diameter than a human hair, so they're very difficult to see and also very difficult to catch. So our washing machine filtration system doesn't catch them, and as the little fibers make their way into our wastewater and through our sewage treatment facilities, they're also not caught there and they end up in our oceans. The issue is these microplastics are ending up everywhere and in very problematic locations. Aquatic animals such as plankton and filter feeders are mistaking these microplastics for food and they are consuming them, which leads to digestive problems for them. It can block their digestive systems and it can also cause starvation. They eat these plastics and they feel full, but they're not actually getting the nutrients they need to survive. This can pose a higher threat as these plastics can move up the food chain when larger animals eat smaller animals that have eaten plastics. And yes, they've gone so far up the food chain that now humans have consumed plastics. Plastics are found in shellfish that we eat. Plastics are found in tap water and table salt. Microplastics are even found in the air that we breathe. So microplastics are very harmful and they are slowly infiltrating everything we know and love. I didn't have to make it sound so dark. That was pretty dark. So how microplastics are affecting humans is still being studied and there's much that we still don't know. Microfiber research only begun about a decade ago, so there's still a lot for us to learn and research before we really know the long-term effects of this plastic consumption. Different types of synthetic fabrics shed more than others depending on how the material was woven together and also depending on the type of material itself. So for example, things like this, unfortunately, are very cute fleeces that are made out of synthetic materials. They tend to release a lot of microfibers as well as loosely knit sweaters like this. And then different types of material like acrylic versus polyester. Acrylic will shed more microplastics per wash than polyester will. So there's also different levels within the different types of synthetic materials. Okay, so now you've got the background information you need. You know what microplastics are, you know what microfibers are, and you know how they're released into the ocean from our washing machines. Now you can learn some steps you can take and things you can do to help reduce the amount of microplastics your clothes release. So the first thing that you can do is very obvious and very easy. You can wash your clothes less. So try to repeat and wear things multiple times before you wash them, and reduce the number of times you're washing each synthetic clothing item. Another step you can take is to wash your clothes in larger loads. So try to only wash full loads at a time, because that reduces the amount of friction and rubbing that can lead to more shedding of these microfibers. There are also some products out there that you can purchase which will help capture the microfibers in your washing machine before they can escape down the drain. The first one is called the Cora ball. It's just a ball that catches these microfibers, kind of like your lint, the little thing that collects lint in your dryer, and you can dispose of the microfibers with that. The other option is the guppy bag, and this is a bag that you can put your synthetic clothes in, and then put that whole thing in the wash, and it will collect some of the microfibers. The only thing is, both of these products only collect a percentage and they won't collect everything. One other option is to buy a filter which you can attach to your washing machine, and that one can collect 86% of these microplastics, which is pretty significant. And it's something you self-install into your washing machine. Another step you can take is to avoid purchasing synthetic items. This one is easier said than done, and is a little less accessible, especially because synthetic fabrics tend to be cheaper, and synthetic fabrics can be stretchy, waterproof, they can be shiny, while natural fibers cannot. So it's difficult to find athletic wear made from anything other than plastic. But when you can, try to buy natural. Make a habit of looking at the label and seeing what the item is made of before you purchase it, and kind of making a more conscious decision there. Yet another option is to use a front-loading washer as opposed to a top-loading washing machine. Apparently, the way that a top-loading washing machine has that little stand thing in the middle that rotates, that tends to add more friction, whereas the front-loading washing machines just use gravity to spin everything, so it reduces the friction and reduces the microplastics that come out. That's probably the hardest / least accessible, because people typically don't just replace washing machines, but it is something nonetheless. And the final 2 tips I have are to, 1, reach out to companies and reach out to politicians. Ultimately, companies have to be responsive to their consumers, and politicians should be responsive to their citizens. And with enough pressure, we can make progress. And France actually is the first country to make some legislation about these microfibers. In February 2020, France passed legislation stating that by the year 2025, all new washing machines must have a filtration system strong enough to filter out these plastic fibers. So progress is being made. Scientists are pushing out the information, consumers are starting to realize, and governments are responding accordingly. So yay, there's hope for the future. Anyway, so I'm going to go into my closet right back there, and I'm gonna start taking out my clothes. I'm gonna sort them into piles. Y'all, I got a lot of clothes. Bear with me, let's go. Alright, y'all, so we have emptied the closet. Wow. Okay, we did pajama drawer, we did pants or shorts, skirts drawer, and I don't know. Okay, so we ran the stats, and now I know what my closet consists of, and I found that 74 items are in the all natural fabrics. We found 73 items in the hybrid, so they were actually like practically the same number, and then 21 items in the completely synthetic. So if you break it all down, that is 44% natural, 43% hybrid, and 13% synthetic. But really what that means to me is like 44% natural and 56% plastic involved in the clothing. So, y'all, I'm tired after doing this. My energy levels have dropped. I'm like sitting here just like... But yeah, no, I can't say I'm surprised. Because the statistics are like 50% of clothes are made out of plastic, so it makes sense that like around 50% of my closet would be made of plastic. I feel like I thrift a decent amount and also have a lot of hand-me-downs, so I'm like a little disappointed that didn't like increase my statistics so that I would have more natural fabrics, but I guess that's like now I know, and when I go thrifting, I'll be looking out for the materials that are used in the fabrics as well, as how cute something is. Yes, thank you all so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative. And yeah, if you enjoyed it, help me out, like and subscribe, you know. But I'll see you all next time.